Redditors who have followed through in finding hot MILFs in your area, what happened? If this question had said serious replies only, there would be absolutely no replies. Expectation. Hot MILF. Reality. Happened to me too. I had an ad pop up that said there was a horny SLT ready to FCK in my area less than 5 meters from me. I very slowly turned around to make sure she wasn't standing in the doorway just watching me. I think it was meant to say 5 kilometers. My ads are more realistic. Glance at a mildly attractive bus driver in your area. Alanis Morissette is on tour this summer. You want single MILFs that need to get rid of some angst? Then this it. I'm gonna be all over it. The odds are good but the goods are odd. My computer and I got matching viruses. For the one I clicked. The M apparently stood for men. I went to their houses and installed air conditioning. Now they are cool MILFs in my area. I work at a soda shop in a town with a bunch of attractive LDS moms who flirt with me in the drive-thru as they buy their Diet Cokes with lime and coconut. I've never seen so many tall blonde MILFs drive white Honda minivans. Sometimes come back to say they are visiting me. I don't know how to make the next move from there, but someday I will. Edit. Spelling. Edit 2. It worked. I quickly acquired hundreds of women through the ads. I didn't get FK'd. But my computer did. Had to take it to the computer doctor for ESTD treatments. My friend did once. I guess the MILF was just gold digger. If you're old enough to have been online during the early Yahoo chat room days, before it became 95% bots. Truly the glory days. All she wanted was a quick FCK and I wanted a long-term relationship with at least 13 children. I found her on Match.com. She's the single mother of 2 teenagers. Close in age to my own kids. We've been dating for 8 months. And I will probably propose soon. Worked like a charm for me. The craziest part was that I live in the same area as your mom. No serious tag. Those websites are filled with spam bots pretending to be women. However, there actually are a few bored neglected housewives on the more legit ones. Mostly they just flirt with the idea of meeting up then flake, which I guess is not dissimilar to regular hookup sites apps. But I did have an extended fling with a married woman that I met from one of those sites for a little while back in college. A bit homely but I didn't care. I just wanted to get laid back then. She never wanted me to use protection. Which I stupidly obliged to. It was hot. Okay. But. Surprise surprise. She got pregnant. I dipped. Of course. And the husband never found out as far as I'm aware. I still look her up on FB from time to time. The kid was of the special needs type. He's grown up now. And he actually uses Reddit under the username of the Laughing Joker or something cringy like that. True story. I can't believe I got demolished that f-king bad. On a side note. Dad? Kind of related story. This former co-worker we used to have was a f-king goon that nobody liked. After work he went onto these sites on the work computer out back and wrote a slew of messages to seemingly girl he could PM. He would pretty much write the same-ish message every time. About how if they are looking for a boy, they're talking to the wrong person. Because he's a man. A man who likes to FCK. He also always wrote about going down on women and licking the sweet juices from them. As to how we found out. He forgot to X out of the window. Or log out. Or delete history. Any of it. So the owner came into work the next day and was crying laughing reading through the messages while we all gathered around. Afterward for a while we dubbed this guy the Juice Man for reasons stated before. But that's certainly the best attempt at a local meetup story I know of. The hot MILF in town ended up being my mom and my friend was 3 steps ahead of me. Needless to say, I was grossed out and I straight up fled. I used to hook up with a MILF sort of. She was 10 years older than me. So cross between MILF and older friend's sister, which she was. Pretty awesome for NSASX. There's not a whole lot of expectation that things could actually work out, and she was my friend's sister, so she wanted to keep things quiet, which was a plus for me. And she was a freak. Lonely divorcee that needed excitement and was down to try anything. The thing about the NSA is that they know all about you before you even start. All I found was some weird Indian guy in a warehouse. Just coach Little League Soccer. I met a nice Nigerian prince. We're still friends to this day. Found my 5th grade teacher, I think. It was not fun to see her like that. My 70-year-old uncle clicked on one of those meet single women in your area ads and then had to ask me for help on stopping all the pop-up PRN pages on his phone. Done this twice. Both times left me feeling really awful about myself. 1. Met this woman about 20 years older on Tinder. Extremely attractive and charming. Went on one date. It was great. And she invited me back to her place. Her children were all home. Her and I are going at it and they start banging on the door. She gets dressed. Checks on the kids. I toss my clothes on and run out the side door and call an Uber. 2. Met this woman who needed young guys to FCK her on camera. This was a long time ago and I'm fairly sure it was through Craigslist. Turns out she's a moderately successful PRN star. Star is really an overstatement, but that's her job. She was in her 50s and I was around 21. She came to my place to see if we would be a good match. Sex was great and pretty crazy, but just the entire thing felt really gross because it was an audition. At first it seemed unbelievable. How could this many 40-something women be interested in sex with me? I could hardly believe my luck. But then it all started happening. Before I knew it, 5 hideous, dirty, filthy SLTS were fighting to suck me off. But why was that red-headed one putting on a strap-on DLDO? Ladies, let's not get too. But before I could even get the word hasty out of my finger-filled mouth, a ghastly rubber contraption had been hastily shoved in that darkest of places. I never knew what such intense penetration would feel like. But in that moment I knew. I knew very well indeed. Before I could finish saying, wait just a blasted moment. Comma. These 3 brown-headed ladies were clambering to get their fists in my rectum. Wowie. I exclaimed in ecstasy. By the end of the night, they revealed to me that they had been men wearing wigs and dresses. Homeless men. From the smell of them, I wouldn't recommend the experience to anyone. But my goodness. This weekly routine has come to mean more to me than anything else in my life. I love you, guys. I still get spam emails to this day. The entire thing is just data harvesting. Very nice ladies. They just wanted someone to talk to. Janet bakes wonderful butterscotch cookies. Can't really tell, since I use adblock. Ended up meeting my mum over an embarrassing cup of coffee in Starbucks. I ended up marrying her. You've been warned. That's how I met your mother. We did the deed as any lovers would. Long story short, she's my grandma now because I gave her to my dad's dad for Christmas this past year. Let's just say I didn't need my other kidney. Found a hot MILF, not by clicking an ad. Went out a couple of times. Banged. Found out she was still married and living with her husband. Didn't want that reputation. Broke it off. Had casual sex with another one who was in the middle of a divorce. Both agreed to keep it casual. Broke it off because we were both catching the feels. Call me stepdaddy. I had to cancel because my penis enlargement pills never arrived. Oh, circumflex Y with diuresis copyright airing.